First-generation students is more than a website. Let's start with a land acknowledgement. We acknowledge the nature of our existence within the land of the Coast Salish peoples, and we aspire to be grateful and considerate of those who surround us in past, present, and future recognition. As the story of first-gen students is rooted in the foundational use of universities as maintaining economic and social subjugation through educating the ruling class on stolen lands, we find it incredibly important to acknowledge indigeneity as a crucial element of expanding inclusion of first-gen students and underrepresented populations as a whole. By providing a vast array of materials on UW faculty, the institutional promise of diverse accessibility, and the reality of first-gen lifestyles, all conceptualized through a deconstructing framework of historical background, we attempt to understand what being first-gen at UW has felt like versus the narratives of UW supportive programming. Our conversation with the Director of Academic Support Programs, Dr. Ryan Burt, discusses UW, diversity, and systems of knowledge within the context of first-gen support. We're here with Dr. Ryan Burt, who is Director of Academic Support Programs at UW. He received his PhD and undergraduate diplomas from UW and also taught for 2 years in Morocco. In our chat with Ryan, we talked about what the UW and first-generation relationship looks like and what UW could do better to offer first-gen support from a perspective of diversity and care-supported knowledge. We're starting with the idea of graduation. Despite its shortness and length, graduation is used as a measure of success for students and institutions themselves by consolidating years of hard work into a single statistic. For many first-gen students, the pressure to graduate is even higher due to societal bombardment of predicting success and failure using demographic data, making the graduation of first-gen students anticlimactic for individuals who have internalized the diploma as their only indication of worth.
I think even with the support programs that exist, I'd say the retention and graduation of first-gen historically underrepresented students is slightly lower. It's still high. Our graduation rate at UW is pretty high for a large public university. I think we're like 10th or 11th in the country for like a public university.
Thanks, Ryan. Now let's take a closer look at the data. According to First-Gen Forward, 24% of first-gen students earn their degree in comparison to 59% of non-first-gen students completing university. This is the nationwide average within the United States. Meanwhile, in 2014 at UW, 61% of first-gen students graduated with diplomas, and 66% of non-first-gen students finished in the same period. A huge surprise within this article is the fact that first-gen students graduate faster than other students, with an average completion length of 38.1 months. This data is 10 years old, however, it does indicate that the UW is doing something different than other universities. Tracing back to the idea of the diploma, what kind of knowledge do we learn in order to possess this precious sheet of paper? How do we reckon with this in terms of studying at a diverse institution? I think Ryan has something to say about that.
Including a quote unquote diverse student body into a structure and knowledge systems that don't necessarily represent knowledge systems from the communities they might come from, or some of the families' different knowledge systems. And so I think I am very interested in that piece of it. I think all students, it would be really powerful if they had access to different ways of knowing and knowledge systems. That could be a powerful thing for first-gen students to see different ways of thinking or knowing that is not just coming from a quote unquote Western kind of tradition.
We think Ryan is getting at something really interesting here. To learn more about our thoughts on Western knowledge production and its connections to ideas of scientific racism and racial liberalism within universities, check out our website, firstgenerationstudents.squarespace.com.
Hi everyone, my name is Haley Nelson, and this article is about UW's recent advertising as an accessible community for first-gen learning, and it includes research on what the university's recent advertising has looked like and the language that is used in it. So UW has developed an online platform, First-Generation College Stories, that showcase alumni stories as first-generation college students, and the stories highlight personal challenges, triumphs, and educational journeys. The goals of this initiative were to reflect UW's commitment to diversity and inclusion, And it also functions as a marketing tool to attract prospective students by representing UW as a diverse, supportive community. And it strengthens emotional connections as well with potential students by sharing relatable, inspiring narratives. There is some demographic emphasis that is included on the webpage as well. The webpage showcases that over 30% of UW undergrads are first-gen college students, and this large demographic is a key draw for prospective first-gen students. And it celebrates diverse student backgrounds and promotes an inclusive campus environment through this advertising as well.
Thanks, Haley. Let's have a recap. So we know a couple things. Number one, UW faculty, at least Ryan, want to diversify through the addition of different knowledge systems. Number two, UW web pages attempt to assure first-gen students that their on-campus presence is welcome and thoroughly supported. We're still left with a couple questions, though. How do first-generation students feel about this? Do they feel this attention on campus?
Talking about first-gen experiences and lived experiences at UW, UW advertises a lot of programs for first-gen students. What resources do you feel like you've used a lot? They can be places like...
None.
None?
None. I feel like, other than Shiro, I feel like none of them have really sticked or worked. I feel like people don't really understand this, but like, as like, again, someone that's like a first-gen student, like, I'm my family's like interpreter. My family's like, I'm everything for my family, you know, I help them with everything. And juggling that on top of with school and with the stress of classes and with the stress of like trying to fit in, I feel like it's a lot of work, and I feel like it has weighed on me heavily, and UW just haven't done their part. Like, I feel like they haven't shown me they've cared about me as a student.
Do you feel pressured to have like that underdog story, like someone who like completes like traditionally like 4 years and then get that job and then immediately get that house, like that type of upward progression with no downwards? And
I mean, you know, sometimes I do, but I always remind myself that life is like, it's about making mistakes, and it's about learning from your mistakes. So if I don't like buy a house right away, right after graduation, I'm not gonna be mad at it. You know, obviously, it's more to it than just that. You know, I just want to be able to, at some point in my life, be able to retire both of my parents. Yeah.
I feel like maybe, although like you want to leave UW, if you do, I feel like it's like such a big disappointment though, because like you're telling your whole family, like, well, at least I told my whole family, I'm gonna graduate, gonna do this, gonna do that. And when you don't complete your goals and you come back to your house and you come back to your family and they're like, what are you gonna do now? And you don't know what you're gonna do. So it's like, I feel like nobody shows their struggles more and like sees their struggles more than themselves.
I'm constantly like thinking about school, even when I'm asleep. You know, it's never a break. Even in the summer, I'm thinking about school. Like, I can never like I just want to break. You know, I feel like I took that ability away from myself because I wanted to finish everything fast, because I wanted to find a good job fast, because I wanted to help my family fast, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm going to end it here. I'd like to thank my interviewee.